Record. Welcome, Jonathan. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast, Entrepreneurs, Business, and Finance, where we have casual conversations with folks that I think are interesting.
Hey, well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So we do work together, and I know that you're a real smart guy, and I know that you're in oil and gas with a focus on mineral properties. Uh, what led you to get into oil and gas?
Well, let's see. I got into oil and gas back in 2016 when my brother-in-law was buying in the Appalachian Basin of West Virginia. He was needing some help, reaching out to mineral owners, seeing if they'd like to sell, as he was buying for a larger outfit at the time. Uh, I'd wanted to get into the space for a while, really didn't have a good entry, so this was a nice little segue into the industry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a really good segue into the industry. We have someone you can trust and count on, and
Right.
so one of the things I'm impressed with is that you really are able to do a lot of in-depth analysis in uh, different areas and different properties and different drilling and really everything to do with oil and gas and owning mineral properties. And it's not an easy thing to learn. You're definitely an entrepreneur and a self-starter. The title of our podcast, Entrepreneurs, Business, and Finance. So you fit right in there. You know, what do you find interesting about it, and how did you learn that? How did you figure that out?
Yeah, so luckily I great in mathematics and problem solving, which really helped me whenever kind of branched off on our own. Because previously, we were buying for a larger outfit that would give you a nice, pretty map with pricing, and it was very easy to acquire minerals. However, I was not privy to, how they came about targeting an area and coming up with pricing. So that was a little growing pains whenever I jumped off on my own. So I really took it upon myself to figure out, the when, where, and why reasoning of an acquisition strategy. Uh, really need to get into, the corporation commissions and get familiar with the states that I was acquiring in to really see the process of, how an operator gets approved to drill a well and uh, trying to find as much data as I can. What really dawned on me was, you really need to know the well performance of an area. So, doing decline curves, doing PVs, really figuring out what these operators are doing in a general area. So, I'd say over, the better part of a decade, I've been kind of fine tuning an evaluation model that I built that really kind of helped streamline the acquisition process. So I really fascinated with just how even just a couple of miles away, a similar well can just be drastically different and by a different operator. And also, uh, that's really what's led me to really sink my teeth into figuring out who the top tier operators are, where the best areas are, and certain depths and all the stuff in between.
Well, for those of you that don't know, mineral properties are the property that you own underground that oil and gas is drilled from, and you get a royalty when you do that. There's so many parts of the oil and gas business. There's delivery to petrochemical plants, which make things that we use every day, like probably this computer and microphone has oil and gas in it. There's pipelines, there's drilling. And so we're kind of, when you acquire minerals, what would you say? We're on the, definitely on the upstream part, but it's an interesting niche because we're more akin to perhaps real estate investors than actual, someone that's going to go out there with an oil rig and or get natural gas rig and drill a well. Yeah. Um, and do you, I know you do some long, long spreadsheets. How did you learn to, I think you did have some computer experience in college, but a lot of people find that intimidating to use the different types of softwares and the different types of spreadsheets and different types of math. And so I guess that was just your background and your acumen and something that you've enjoyed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've had experience in AutoCAD and all. There are some similarities there, in the oil and gas industry. However, it's just more of maybe more a technical approach to figuring out how to get into an Excel spreadsheet and really manipulate it how you need to get a good outcome, if you will.
Right, right, right. What do you see the future of oil and gas? 50, 100 years?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I, I I see oil and gas as being around for a long time. I know we want to go to the renewable energies and all. However, oil and gas is dominant here. I don't see that changing for quite a while. And with the advancements in drilling, they're able to recover a lot more oil and gas from a typical well, as opposed to, even, jump back 20 years ago. I mean, a single well back then, I mean, it could take, 5 years, 5 wells 20 years ago to do what one well could do today. I can see that being the case for, 5, 10 years from now. Every year we're getting a little more efficient with our drilling. We know, all right, this general area has this porosity, X, Y, and Z. So the recovery factor of what they're able to actually pull out under the ground is just exponentially going up.
So, with a new baby, recently, I know that you see a long future in oil and gas, and I think I do too. And while there's good things to be done with some of the green energies, it's still going to have a big need for really the foreseeable future and uh, maybe forever. And so some of the things that are being done is they're being careful with the wells and emissions from the wells and gas emissions. So things continue to get better and cleaner within the oil and gas industry. And as you say, when you drill a well, if you get more oil and gas up, that means fewer wells. That means
Right.
more efficiency. That means
That's
better
correct.
for the world and um, for the country. And of course, you're located in Fort Worth, so you're in the Mecca of Texas, and not far from Oklahoma and Louisiana, the Mecca of the onshore U.S. Um, production. I guess that's you just happen to be here.
Yeah, been in Fort Worth for a long time. I mean, fifth generation Fort Worthian. There's deep roots in the oil and gas industry here in Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. You don't hear fifth generation that often anymore, which is okay because we like the new people coming, but I also like to hear fifth generation.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we wish you all the luck, and it's a pleasure having you on the show. And Jonathan Ringler, folks, thanks for coming on board. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming on the show. I mean, yep.
Thanks so
Have a
much.
good one. Bye.